China's Xi Jinping concluded his diplomatic charm offensive in Saudi Arabia last week with a pledge to increase his purchases of gas and oil from Gulf Arab nations. He also made a public push for the first time for energy transactions to be settled in Chinese yuan. If carried out, the audacious proposal would have significant effects on the long-standing strategic alliance between the United States and the oil-rich countries of the Persian Gulf. Although the US dollar may suffer if a competing currency emerges and affects Western markets, the petrodollar's monopoly is difficult to overthrow. The number 2 economy in the world and the biggest importer of crude oil is China, a manufacturing and industrial powerhouse. Tens of billions of dollars are paid to Riyadh annually for Saudi oil. The Chinese president sought to secure his nation's supplies at a time of energy uncertainty and ahead of an anticipated post-pandemic recovery next year at a historic first meeting between Xi and the leaders of the Gulf Cooperation Council, Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. Xi met with other Gulf oil producers and went to a larger summit with Arab League nations. He informed them that China would keep importing a lot of oil from the region and would also be importing more liquefied natural gas. He demanded that trade deals involving oil and gas be settled in yuan. If it occurred, it would reduce the US dollar's influence over global trade while supporting China's efforts to establish its currency on a worldwide scale. However, US dollars make up the majority of Saudi Arabia's assets and reserves. Other currencies in the Gulf, including the Saudi riyal, are tied to the dollar. Xi was quoted by China's foreign ministry as stating, "China looks forward to cooperating with Saudi Arabia and Arab states to turn the two summits into landmark events in the history of China-Arab ties and China-GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council, relations and raise these relations to new heights." The Shanghai Petroleum and Natural Gas Exchange will be fully utilized for yuan settlement of oil and gas trade, according to Xi, who also referred to the oil-producing Gulf Arab nations as an energy tank for the world economy, in an accompanying opinion piece published in the Saudi newspaper Al Riyadh. Along with the presidents and prime ministers of Iraq, Morocco, Algeria, Sudan, and Lebanon, the Emir of Qatar, the Crown Prince of Kuwait, and the presidents of Egypt, Tunisia, Djibouti, Somalia, and Mauritania were also in attendance. Before the summit, Xi conducted one-on-one meetings with several regional leaders, including Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani, General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan of Sudan, and Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Riyadh reiterated its allegiance to the One China principle, according to which Taiwan is an unalienable portion of Chinese territory and the People's Republic of China, PRC, is the only legitimate government. China is adamant about preventing Taiwanese independence and bringing about the merger of the island with the mainland. Despite maintaining unofficial ties with Taiwan, Western powers, including the US, recognize the PRC as the only legitimate government in China. Beijing responded by reiterating its opposition to any measures that would meddle in the internal affairs of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. According to the statement, the two parties emphasized the significance of the stability in the global oil markets and decided to look into investment prospects in the petrochemical industry as well as renewable energy sources. The largest crude oil importer in the world, Saudi Arabia is a major supplier to China. They also commended Saudi companies' participation in several energy and investment alliances under the Belt and Road Initiative, a vast infrastructure development that would link East Asia with Europe and strengthen the kingdom's location as a regional hub for Chinese companies. Beijing has been strengthening relations with Gulf governments in recent years, but this week, the PRC's foreign ministry hailed Xi's visit as the largest-scale diplomatic action between China and the Arab world since the country's founding. The world's second-largest economy is seen by the Saudi Crown Prince as a crucial ally in his expansive Vision 2030 plan and grandiose megaprojects, such as the futuristic $500 billion megacity Neom. While their relationships with their long-standing US partners look to be strained by conflicts, the Saudis are also striving to broaden their economic and political alliances. Joe Biden, the US president, visited Saudi Arabia in July to persuade the Saudis to increase oil output and reduce petrol prices at the pump, despite criticism from Washington politicians over the country's treatment of its citizens. The decision by the Saudi-led OPEC to reduce oil output by 2 million barrels in October was seen as a direct attack by the Biden administration before the 2022 midterm elections. As they attempt to navigate a polarized world order with an eye on national economic and security interests, Saudi Arabia and its Gulf allies have been stubborn in the face of US demands to break with partner OPEC oil producer Russia over its invasion of Ukraine and to limit dealings with China. Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud, the foreign minister of Saudi Arabia, stated on Friday that his nation would continue to cooperate with all of its allies. Considering the opulent welcome that Xi received, he was questioned about Riyadh's relations with Washington. He responded, "We don't see this as a zero-sum game." He stated during a press conference that, "We do not believe in polarization or in selecting between sides." That's it for today. If you found the video informative, press the like button and subscribe to the channel.